What up, guys? This is Casey Israel again, and this is part 27 of consoles, games, and stories from my life. Today is about the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Um, I actually had two at one time, but the first one, my mom gave me the money for her birthday gift, and I've been dying to get this. Um, Odyssey 2, obviously, is the sequel to Odyssey 1, is pretty much debatable as the first system that game system ever came out. So, I could have got the Odyssey 1. I could have got it for a good freaking deal, like $70 or $80, but actually for 150 now I'm thinking about it, but by the time I was ready to pick it up, of course it was gone. But that's beside the point. And every time I do see the Odyssey 2, it's always in its box. And I think the reason why is how badass the artwork is. I mean, look at this. This thing is badass. It's just awesome looking artwork. And one of the downfalls is why Magnavox did not do well is all because it's from Magnavox, and they think it's only could work on the Magnavox TVs, but that's not true. Obviously, you could use this for any type of TVs that uh you can use RF cables on, or the ones with the hooks. But but that's one of the reasons why this failed. And plus, people decide to have the Atari 2600 over this, and uh, you can easily think this is a PC when you can absolutely tell it has a keyboard. There's some Odyssey 2 systems where the joysticks are detachable, but I believe mine is actually hardwired in. But some of the games that I got boxed, there's a flea market, like I said, I believe it's called Slayington, just right outside Lehigh in Pennsylvania. And this vendor had another box, Odyssey 2, with box Odyssey 2 games. And I made an offer to the guy. I was like, dude, I already got an Odyssey 2. But first, he just wanted to sell the whole thing as a bundle. As, I can understand. I mean, it's very rare someone like me is going to come by and just needs that. But I told him, hey, I'm more interested just buying the games in their boxes. And he's like, well, I want to sell it as a bundle. I was like, hey, I understand. I know why. I mean, I'm not going to shit on you for that because, it's reason. But I think like a week or two later, I came by or got a call, it's like, or a text message, like, hey, I'm willing to drop the price to this and you can have it all. I'm like, okay. I think he wanted like like $100 originally for the box system and a bunch of games in their boxes, down to like 70 ish, 80, no, 76 ish, give or take. I don't remember. And and gave me the Odyssey 2. So I had at one time I had two boxed Odyssey 2 games, systems. So eventually I just compared the ones I had, make sure they both were working, and I sold the other one to my buddy Joey at um, Ex- Nazareth Exchange pawn shop. Awesome store. If you guys somewhere near, I highly suggest go over there. Plus the Easton Exchange and Allentown Exchange. Awesome store, awesome guys. I mean, I did a lot of business with them, and I'm not just kissing ass because I mean I don't even live in Pennsylvania. I still talk to Joey every once in a while. Awesome dudes at that place. I mean, if you buy stuff from them, they're willing to work deals with you. So, uh, but yeah, it's like every time I see the Odyssey 2, everywhere I go who had one of these, they've been, like I said, always had to have the box. And it's a pretty good looking box, and I think, I mean, this kind of rivals what the Atari 2600 is. I mean, there were some good games for the Odyssey 2, but there's a special thing about this. And actually, I think in Europe there was a. I think it was under the Philips brand. Uh, I'm not 100% sure about that, so don't hold me to it. But it was definitely under a different name in Europe. I think it's like Pack or something like that. But there's this one has something special. It's kind of like the Intellivision. If you watch the Intellivision video from me, you'll know why in a second when I pull this thing out. So just give me a moment. I open the box and it comes with some manuals and stuff that I have. This is the switch box it would give you. You had to have this rig up to definitely make it work. And then this is what the controller looks like. It also comes, oh, some kind of warranty deal, or yeah, warranty expires 3 months after warranty expires. 81. I think it expired. Don't you think? 2020 right now. And yeah, there's a controller. You plug this thing into that box, and then pull it up, and you're like, hold on, something's different. Because yeah, there is something different. When I pulled this one out before, I believe this is the one I picked up from the kid vendor. And this is actually, I thought this is some kind of weird version of it, but no. This whole piece, like the Intellivision, is an add-on that would play your Odyssey 2 games and it would do the voices. I mean, pretty cool looking. And there's some kind of membrane touchpad right here. Pretty damn cool looking system. It's awesome to have the add-on. I believe the add-on's very rare, so I was kind of glad to have that. Uh, so I'm gonna put this back and let's move on to the games. In the same flea market, there was another vendor when he had some box Odyssey 2. I mean, same thing with that kid vendor. I bought a bunch of the box ones, but a lot of them are like, wow, box Odyssey 2 games. And this is what an Odyssey 2 game looked like. It has a handle, so I can't buy end labels like that, or like the Sega Master System, or the 32X, or the N64. I can't have end labels because it has a damn handle. But let's look at the box games. Casey Munchkin is pretty much a Pac-Man clone, but kind of just slightly different. Probably the best game out of the whole system. And then a lot of them would have a double game in there. I believe this is a Space Invaders game clone. Obviously, you gotta have some kind of blackjack or casino game, billiards. Take the money and run. Bowling. Then you get some of these. Sees, like I said, double games: bowling and basketball, baseball, and armored counter subtrace. And this is the most common game. I think this gotta have been the pack-in game or something, because if they're gonna sell Odyssey 2 games, this is always in there. Is Speedway, Spin Out, and Crypto Logic. This is the most common game. Computer Golf, Pix Pete is a good game. Casino Slot Machine, of course, a casino game. Then UFOs, you got a bunch of, like, space games. That's what Atari, Coleco games, and television games did a lot. And football, and computer intro. And now let's see what kind of loose games I got. Type and Tell. Also use the keyboard on that. Monkey Shine. You got some crazy artwork. I just showed this one, I think. Showdown in 2100 AD. Attack at the Time Lord. Freedom Fighters. You gotta love that artwork. Hockey and Soccer. Again, a double game. Another double game. Math a Magic Echo. And Echo. And this is because what happened between Atari and Odyssey 2, they sued Magnavox on Casey Munchkin game because it looked too close to the Pac-Man game. So when they did the sequel, it was more like Centipede game. It was like Centipede inside a Pac-Man, kind of. So it was pretty much the FU to Atari from Odyssey 2. There's a cool looking one. Conquest of the World. Smith. What was that? Smith Screens. And I got your number. Honestly, you used the keyboard on that. So, I mean, I had played some of these games. Like I said, one of my favorites gotta be Casey Munchkin. I mean, it's just an awesome Pac-Man clone game, and some stores would sell them pretty decently priced. What's crazy, there's stores around here called Vintage Stock that would, their prices would be differ from one vintage stock to the other. I mean, because I'm like some days would be like $2. Like, hell yeah, $2 a game. And then you go to another one, it's $8. I'm like, why the hell am I gonna buy $8 when I can go to another one and buy it from $2? I'm like, what the hell? But let me pull out some what the box artwork kind of look like. See, you can even tell right there. That's Casey Munchkin. And those ghost-looking guys are monsters, I believe you call them. I mean, isn't the artwork kind of badass, if you ask me? So you can tell what I'm saying. It's just barely different from Pac-Man. I mean, gosh. But the artwork's badass. I love the artwork. But I was afraid to do these last few systems that I was going to do. I didn't think I was going to have much talk, but it's great that I was able to have so much to talk about these last few systems. I probably will do the RCA Studio 2. That'll probably be the finale for a while, or this might be the finale for a while of the systems. But if it is, I love to thank you guys for watching my videos on the series of consoles, games, and stories from my life. I enjoyed doing this. I just like to share my knowledge of games. I love the history. Obviously, you can tell. I love video games, obviously. I mean, shit, my whole room in here is about video games. I mean, I just love all histories, mostly Nintendo and Sega, but I also like Atari as well. I mean, but I love, and you can even look up here, look at all the boxes and stuff, and knickknacks I got all over the room. I mean, and all the innovative ways to try to squeeze more games in a tiny room. But I'd like to thank you guys for following me in this journey, talking about my stories and the history of these games and what it means to me. Thank you for watching, and hopefully this is not the very last edition of consoles, games, and stories from my life. Thank you again.